Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I thought it'd be cool to check out the Neural Amp Modeler. If you're unfamiliar with what the Neural Amp Modeler is, it is a completely free, open source amp modeling plugin. It works in a very similar way to the Kemper, the way it profiles amps, and to the profiling function on the Quad Cortex. And I think there are other companies who are doing it. They're doing it. They're not as good as the Kemper and the Quad Cortex. So, so be it. The way it works is they have a source audio file that you use, and you basically reamp it through a rig. You can do pedals, amps. Apparently, you can do a bunch of studio gear and all that. I haven't tried any of that yet, but I will. I feel like some preamps could be pretty dope. So basically you reamp this source audio file through a piece of gear, and then you drop the reamped file and the source audio file into the trainer, which it uses GPU accelerated machine learning to then convert that into a file format that you can drop into this plugin and pretty much instantly recall. And it's pretty close. I got turned on to this by my buddy Tanner, who plays in the band Awakening the Revenant. I was in that band for a long time. They're working on some new stuff now, and he hit me up and asked me if I'd do some reamps. It was mixed by my buddy Marcus, and it was just produced by those guys in the band. But yeah, so I ran some reamps because I've got Tanner's old 6505, and it's a really wicked, like, modded out beast, and it sounded really cool, right? So Tanner got into this neural amp modeler thing, and he hit me up and said, hey, it'd be cool to have some captures of the 6505 settings that you used when you did those reamps. And I was like, okay, yeah, sweet. So I'll figure it out. I will say this, the training function, they have an online version. I haven't tried that. I went straight for the local version, but it kind of requires a higher level understanding of like file systems and all that on a Windows machine. It's pretty nerdy stuff. So if that's not your cup of tea, I would just stick to the online version if you decide that you want to fool around with this. So before I play some audio examples of the finished, captures that you get here, I'm actually going to go over, and I am going to open up my template that I use for reamping this so I can show you the source audio file, right? So here, actually, let me go to Mixer. I need to make sure this isn't going out the RMP. So I need to set that to go to main. So here's what the source audio file sounds like, and it's 3 minutes. So it's a very uncomfortable 3 minutes while you're reamping this, but some sweeps, but yeah, so you get the idea. You reamp that through hardware, and here's what it sounds like after it's been reamped, right? So this is like I said, it's a really uncomfortable few minutes while this is reamping. Yeah, so that's what you end up with. That's the sound that you're reamping, and that's what you end up with. And you drop those into the training software, which it's a really wild process if you're doing it on your GPU. It takes about 10 minutes to run the training. I have done a bunch of captures, yeah. Anywho, let's check out some audio examples and see how this sounds, right? So we're back over here. Like I said, these are reamps that I did with the 6505 versus the NAM caps that I did of the same rig with the same settings. None of the captures that I've done have cabinet impulse responses baked in. Even when I did these original reamps, I sent them over because Marcus, I'm 90% sure he probably used his own IR blend just because, we're both recording guys, so he's a nerd, I'm a nerd. So I sent him the raw amp caps, and I'm sure that's probably what he used when they did the single. So here we go. This is just with the cab IR that I used. Same cab IR settings on both boys here. So bam, there we go. That's the reamp cab. That's the NAM cap cab. Same thing. So I'm going to start here with the NAM cap. And these tracks are the NAM cap. These tracks are the 6505 reamps. So here we go. See, it's wild. It's really close. It's about as close as any other good amp sim, and it's totally free. It's totally open source. I did that capture. It took me about 10 minutes to train the capture, and it took me probably about 5 minutes to patch everything up to do the reamp and recall the amp settings that I'd used when I'd done it originally, and then I printed the reamp through, and then I trained it. And that's the result right there. It's the JHS Bonsai into the 6505 with the same settings I used when I had originally done the reamps, and it's bonkers how close it is just for something that's totally free and totally open source. So it's definitely worth looking into if you're not familiar with it, especially if you have some gear and some cool stuff that you want to capture. That'd be pretty sick. You know what I mean? Because even jamming through it is really fun. I did a little ditty a couple days ago where I just like riffed through it and just wrote something, and it was cool, and it was fun to play through, and it sounded good. It's totally worthy of being used in a mix, which is really dope for something that's free and open source. That's all I got for you today. Check it out. Have fun. Have some sick tones later.